Hey kids, today we are going to start a new chapter, and the chapter's name is Breathing and Exchange of Gases. This is chapter 17 in your NCERT. Chapter 17 in your NCERT textbook. This is for class 11, and the name of the chapter is Breathing and Exchange of Gases. Now, there are two things here that you need to really know the meanings of. Okay, one is breathing and one is respiration. Many of you might think this, ma'am, this is the same thing. It's not different. We breathe, we respire, it's the same thing. But no, there are two different things. You need to know that when you're in standard 11, and very clearly you need to know this. Breathing, which is the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between between the body and atmosphere. Okay, so when oxygen and carbon dioxide are being exchanged, and it is uh, followed up by the process called inspiration and expiration, where this exchange of, you're taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. When this exchange is happening, it is called breathing. It is called what? Breathing. Okay. Whereas respiration is oxidation of glucose to yield energy. To yield energy. Okay, so respiration is a process where the glucose is being oxidized to yield energy. Okay, now to yield energy means ATP is involved. Yes, okay, ATP is involved here. Okay, now again, respiration are of two types that you need to know. One is aerobic and one is anaerobic. Okay, now aerobic respiration, some of you might already know what aerobic and anaerobic respiration are. Aerobic respiration means when the process is undergone in presence of oxygen. Okay, when it is in absence of oxygen, it is called anaerobic respiration. Now this thing please keep in mind. Okay, you need to know that breathing and respiration are two different things. Okay, and I have a table here which says, or which lists down all the differences between breathing and respiration. The first ones are these. Okay, now this is the second one. Here it is a tabular column where breathing and respiration differences are put down. First one is, breathing is a continuous process that involves both inhalation and exhalation. Okay, here we can write inspiration in terms of NCERT, that is. Okay, and here it is written as expiration. Okay, now, respiration, the first point is the process in which food is broken down in the cells to release energy is known as respiration. So, energy, okay, means oxidation of glucose. Okay, second one is it is a physical process. And here, respiration, it is a biochemical process. Okay, so breathing is a physical process where your diaphragm is being contracted and it is being relaxed. There's some movement of intercostal muscles. Okay, all these muscles are being used for breathing. Respiration, it is more of a biochemical process, where the oxygen is being absorbed to the tissues, okay, and carbon dioxide is being given out. Okay, so it is more of a biochemical process, respiration. Third point is breathing is a part of respiration. Okay, so breathing is a part of respiration. To respire, for that biochemical process to happen, first you need to breathe. For respiration to happen, first you need to breathe. So breathing is a part of respiration. And third point here for respiration is it involves the release of energy, okay, that we discussed here. Okay, here energy is being used, ATP is being used. Okay, so I hope this is a good start to the chapter where you learn about differences between these two words, breathing and respiration. Now, uh, for animal kingdom, you would have already learned about different phylums, right? So now we are going to see all the different respiratory structures in each phylum. Okay, so let's put uh, a table here, name an organ or structure. Okay, or respiratory structure. Okay, I hope you are able to see it. Now, let's one by one put down. Okay, first phylum, can you all tell me? Yes, phylum Porifera. Okay, so for the test run, I had uploaded a video on phylum Porifera. If you want to know all the characteristics of phylum Porifera, please check out that video. Okay, so first is phylum Porifera. Phylum Porifera, what is the respiratory organ or structure? General body surface. Sorry, body surface. Okay, because all these primitive phylums normally have general body surface as a respiratory, excretory structure. Okay, next is phylum Coelenterata. Phylum Coelenterata. Okay, phylum Coelenterata is again general, it is again general body surface. Okay, so you need to know many of these primitive phylums are normally general body surface, like I told you earlier. The third phylum we have is phylum Ctenophora. Okay, so phylum Ctenophora again has the respiratory structure of general body surface. Okay, general body surface. So you can, it's very easy to remember, like half of the thing is gone in general body surface itself because they're also primitive. Okay, next is platyhelminthes. Okay, my pen is acting up again. Very good. Okay, platyhelminthes. Okay, platyhelminthes again being general body surface. Fifth one is ascalminthus, which being general body surface again. Okay, so let's remember these five phylums. These five phylums are all GBS for respiration, that is general body surface. Okay, the first five phylum. Okay, so remember it like that. Now let's move on to the next phylum, that is nothing but the sixth one, right? The sixth phylum is nothing but phylum Annelida. Phylum Annelida. Okay, for this there are two respiratory structures. Um, as you go along the phylum, entire phylum, there are two types of respiratory structure that I noticed here. First one is cutaneous. Cutaneous is through skin, right? Second one is parapodia. Parapodia is seen normally in, aquatic annelidans. Okay, so cutaneous, best example, we have the star example for phylum Annelida, earthworm, right? So like that you remember. Okay, seventh phylum we have phylum Arthropoda. Okay, Arthropoda. Arthropoda is what? Is it the smallest phylum or the largest phylum? Okay, so it is the largest phylum. Arthropoda we have different, since it is the largest phylum and very fast, and we have so much diversity and variety here. Okay, so first let's see about crustaceans. Okay, crustaceans. Okay, aquatic. Okay, second is limulus. Can anyone tell me what limulus is? Please comment down below what limulus is. Okay, next is scorpion. Okay, now for crustaceans, if you see, it is gills. Okay, for limulus, it is book gills. Fancier gills, book gills. Okay, and scorpion, even fancier, book lungs. Remember like that. Okay, gills, book gills, and book lungs. Okay, the eighth phylum we are coming on to, the second largest. Okay, mollusca. Now, what are the respiratory structures for mollusca? Let's see. They are nothing but gills. Okay. Now next is phylum Echinodermata. Echinodermata. Okay. Star example, starfish. A very typical characteristic here in phylum Echinodermata is what? Water vascular system. So definitely the respiration is also through water vascular system. Alright, kids, I hope you're understanding this. Okay, if you have learned Animal Kingdom thoroughly, it is very easier here. Okay, and we are going to complete this chapter. I think I might divide the chapter into 3 videos, that is part 1, part 2, and part 3. So it's easier. Shorter videos you learn, and there's time to relax, and you don't have to look at the video and be like, it is half an hour long video. How will we be able to sit and listen for half an hour? No, you listen. Few topics, major topics I'll cover one by one in each video. Okay. So the next one is hemichordata. Hemichordata. Okay, here nothing but gills. Okay, the respiratory structure are gills. Okay, now I will move on to the next slide since chordata is pretty long. Okay, so the 11th phylum is phylum chordata. Okay, now under chordata we have first one urochordates, and their respiratory structure is branchial aperture. Branchial aperture. Now you must be wondering, why are we learning respiratory structure of all phylums? This is very important for MCQs when they say which of the following is the respiratory structure for phylum Arthropoda or Platyhelminthes. Okay, so that time there will be options, and you should not leave any chance for confusion there. Okay, next is cephalochordates. Okay, cephalochordates, and their respiratory structure is skin. Next we have cyclostomes. Okay, and their respiratory structure is gills. Next is Pisces. Okay, and Pisces, obviously their respiratory structures are gills. Next we have amphibia. Okay, and their respiratory structures can be cutaneous, that is through skin. Okay, next is buccopharyngeal. Okay, and the other one can be lungs. Okay, now next we have reptilia, aves, and mammals. Now all these three classes are through lungs. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. The first to fifth phylum is general body surface. Then sixth we have phylum Annelida, cutaneous, and Parapodia. Sorry, Parapodias. Okay, arthropoda, crustaceans, gills, limulus, book gills. Comment down what limulus is. Okay, scorpion, book lungs, mollusca, gills, echinodermata, water vascular system, hemichordata, gills. Okay, and under chordata we have different classes, and these are the respiratory structures. Okay, clear? Is it clear now? Okay, so this is the basis you need to know. Since you have learned Animal Kingdom, it is very much expected out of you to know even all the structures and all the classification, all the characteristics of different phylum. Okay, now let's move on to the human respiratory system. Now, I do not want to really get into human respiratory system right away in detail, but just a brief introduction I'll give it to you. Okay, now they are human respiratory system. They are divided into two parts. Okay, one is conducting zone. Okay, one is what zone? Conducting zone. Okay, the other one is respiratory zone. Respiratory zone. Okay, so these are the two zones that are there: conducting zone and respiratory zone. Okay, now you need to know what are these zones. Okay, now conducting zone is the zone from external nostrils till the bronchi. Okay, and let's talk about what are they for. conducting zone is only for transport of gases. Transport of gases. Okay, conducting zone is only for transport of gases. Okay, second thing, it is for filtration of air. Filtration of air, all the nostril hair, all these things, so they take in all the bigger particles and they filter it before they enter the trachea or larynx. Okay, next function is for humidification of air, right? So that is why we feel very weird, sometimes in the AC when our nose and all becomes very dry. It's very weird when you breathe in, right? So for humidification of air. Okay, and to bring the air, to bring the the air to body temperature, to body temperature. Okay, so now imagine you are in a very cold place. Now you can't be breathing in that air, and do you think that cold air will get into your lungs and then to your bronchi and then to your alveoli? Do you think that cold air will be exchanging gases? No, the body will convert anything that you are taking in. Let it be, let aside, let it be whether air or the food that you eat. Anything enters the body, anything we take inside our body is always converted to our own body temperature. Okay, so in the same way the air is converted as well. Okay, so from external, I will not write it here, I'll write it in the next page. Okay, now before that, let's see about respiratory zone. The first thing you need to know is exchange of gases, exchange of um, gases between lungs and blood take place here. Okay, it exchange of gases takes place in this. Okay, now let's see the structure. Let's see from where to where. Okay, now conducting zone, I'll just write it here. Conducting zone. Okay, now let's see how the conducting zone, like what is a zone, from where to where. Okay, external nostrils, and how the air travels, this is okay. First it enters the external nostrils, that is above your upper lip. Okay, and then to nasal cavity, and then to nasal cavity, and then to internal nostrils. Internal nostrils are the nostrils that you see in a skeleton. There, those are two on the face. If you see, there are two openings, right? Okay, because our nose, this structure of a nose is made up of what? Cartilage, right? So that is not present in the skeletal system. So when you see two openings there in the skull, that is internal nostrils. Okay, and then it enters nasopharynx. Okay, and then from here it enters laryngopharynx. Okay, and then from here it enters trachea, and from trachea it goes to primary, secondary, and tertiary bronchi. Okay, wait, let me write it better. Tertiary bronchi. Okay, whereas now if you see here for the respiratory zone, it starts after the bronchi. Okay, so respiratory bronchiole. Okay, and then goes to alveolar ducts. Okay, and then to alveolar sac. Okay, so this is the place where the exchange of gases takes place. Okay, so this is the respiratory zone. Okay, and this is the conducting zone. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, it is divided into two: conducting zone and respiratory zone. So conducting means it's only conducting, like it's taking, it's let's remember, it's a conductor, it's a bus conductor. Conducting zone, okay, it is taking air till the bronchi. Okay, and then where the main person, the driver, where they are, where it's actually driving the system, where it's actually being exchanged is respiratory zone, from respiratory bronchioles till alveolar sac through alveolar ducts. Okay, that is where the exchange of gases is being taken place. Okay, now the next thing we need to know about is I think in your textbook the next thing is the after learning about all the organisms and their respiratory structure, next topic is human respiratory system. But in detail I have not taught because I want to teach it with the diagram from the textbook. Okay, now I am jumping to another topic, that is mechanism of breathing. Okay, don't think we will miss out any topic. Okay, all the topics will be covered, but only that a little bit of here and there will be there, that is like numbers may be jumbled up or the topic continuation will be jumbled up. Okay, human respiratory system we'll do next, okay, in the next part, because it is the video has been going on for pretty long time now. I want to finish it with mechanism of breathing. Okay, so because mechanism of breathing is a pretty simple topic, so I'll finish it and then freshly in the next video we can start human respiratory system in detail. Okay, so next is mechanism of breathing. Mechanism of breathing. Okay, now first you need to know what is a breathing cycle. Okay, one one breathing cycle one breathing cycle is equals to inspiration plus expiration. One inspiration plus one expiration. That is one time you inspire, that is one time you breathe in, and one time you let out, that is one breathing cycle. Understood? Okay. So now, one thing you need to remember is that this is one breathing cycle. Okay, so one time you take air in and one time you let it out, that is one breathing cycle. Okay, second is breathing rate. Okay, second is breathing rate. Okay, now what is breathing rate? That is how many cycles of this inspiration and expiration you are doing per minute. Okay, so we are doing 12 to 16 cycles per minute, children. Okay, 12 to 16 times we are breathing in and breathing out per minute. Okay, so there are few laws that you need to know when it comes to breathing or respiration, that will be seen in, very importantly seen in the future. Okay, when we are learning about it, like the first one is uh, pressure is inversely proportional to volume. Okay, that is nothing but Boyle's law. That's nothing but Boyle's law. Okay, second thing you need to remember is air always moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. Okay, air always moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. Okay, now next thing you need to know is muscles involved. Okay, first one is the first muscles that those are involved here in the process of breathing is diaphragm. Okay, you know that when inspiration, when you take in air, what happens to your diaphragm? Take a deep breath now, your diaphragm contracts, right? And then when you take it out, it relaxes. Okay, so diaphragm. Second one is costal muscles, and third one is abdominal muscles, abdominal muscles. Okay, so now, and you should always remember a constant of atmospheric pressure. Okay, that is 760 mmHg. Okay, and this is atmosphere pressure, right? Atmosphere pressure, and there's something called as intrapulmonary pressure, that is pressure inside lungs. inside lungs. Okay, so you need to remember these things. All right. So now let's move on to differences between inspiration and expiration. Yes, let's see the differences between inspiration and expiration. Very important question. Okay, so you need to know. It might seem simple. Okay, it's inspiration is just breathing in, expiration is just breathing out. No. Okay, there's a lot of what do you say process involved, and you need to write down the differences. It may hold pretty good value when it comes to questions. Okay, the first thing you need to write here is atmospheric pressure is how much? What is the constant that we learned? 760. Okay, and intrapulmonary pressure, I'm writing it as IPP, is how much here? 758. Because inspiration means you're taking in air, you're taking in, take in air. That means if you're taking in, atmospheres should be more, yes, than the lungs one, because it always moves from higher to lower pressure. Okay, so atmosphere pressure should be higher than intrapulmonary pressure, right? So here it's 758 and here it's 760. And automatically, if you are taking in air volume, what happens to the volume? It goes up. Yes. Okay, next thing, what happens? Diaphragm contracts. Diaphragm contracts. Okay, to become flattened, because normally diaphragm shape is a dome shape. Okay, it's a dome shape diaphragm, so when it contracts, it becomes flattened. Okay, it's contracting. Okay, now what along with diaphragm, external intercostal muscles also also contract. Okay, and here volume is increasing and pressure is decreasing as the air moves in. Okay, it is an active process. Why is it an active process? Can anyone tell me? Because ATP is being used here. Contraction is happening, means energy is needed for it to contract. So ATP is being is an expenditure here. So definitely it is an active process when ATP is being used. Okay. So for expiration now, if we see, the atmospheric pressure is a constant 760. Okay. Whereas the IPP, which is not a constant, intrapulmonary, is inside the lungs, it will obviously be more because you're letting the air out, expiration, exhalation. Okay, so you're letting the air out, so it has to be more, 762. Okay, here what is happening to volume? Volume is going down. Okay, so what is being relaxed? Diaphragm is being relaxed. Diaphragm is being relaxed. Okay, external intercostal is being relaxed. Yes, so volume is going down and pressure is going up as the air moves out. Okay, next is, it is a passive process. It is a passive process because no ATP is being used. No ATP is being used. Okay, only contraction means ATP will be used. Here everything is being relaxed, no? So it's in a very normal manner. ATP is not being used. That's why it is a passive process. All these things you need to remember. Okay, active process, passive process. Okay, the pressure here. What is the pressure for expiration? Okay, understood. So that is what you need to remember. Okay. So here the diaphragm is being relaxed, so it comes back to its dome shape. Here the diaphragm tends to get flattened because it is contracting. Okay. So all these things you need to remember about inspiration and expiration. Now, first we learnt about breathing and exchange of gases is the chapter's name, and then breathing's definition, respiration's definition. Okay. Breathing is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Respiration is oxidation of glucose. There are two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Okay, this is the difference, tabular column between breathing and respiration. And then we saw different phylums and their respiratory structures, right? Okay. And then we saw human respiratory system is normally divided into two, conducting zone and respiratory zone. Conducting zone starts from external nostrils and ends at bronchi. Respiratory zone starts at respiratory bronchiole and ends at alveolar sac. Okay, mechanism of breathing, we have breathing cycle, one inspiration plus one expiration. Breathing rate is, this is we breathe 12 to 16 cycles per minute. Okay, different laws, different muscles, those are involved here. Okay, diaphragm, costal and abdominal muscles. And difference between expiration and inspiration and expiration, nothing but inhalation and exhalation. Okay children, thank you for listening very patiently. Okay, please share these videos. Okay, share these video to your friends. Make sure they are also learning. Okay, they're also scoring more. Okay, I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching.